This is how you get the free Gorgifex wonder weapon on Reckoning in Black Ops 6 Zombies, as well as the 2 different variant upgrades for it. And obviously you need to have Power and Pack-a-Punch ready to go to do this. The first step to get the Gorgifex is to head to the mutant labs and unlock the door locked behind a 3-digit code. In this area there will be 2 terminals which, when interacted with, will briefly show a word. You must get the first letter from these 2 different words. These letters will combine to make an element from the periodic table. You can find a periodic table for reference on a wall below one of the keypad doors. You must find the atomic number of an element that you can make using these 2 letters to input your code. You can also use the atomic number generator from Detonated, linked on screen and in the description, where you can just input the first and second word to find the elements nice and easily if you are struggling. Although this isn't necessary because it's pretty easy to work out without the periodic table, but this may save you a few seconds. Once inside, there are 2 closed boxes next to each other, with one containing a cyst. You must damage a parasite or vermin as close as possible to the left one to activate it, causing the creature to be absorbed into the cyst. You then must damage more vermin, parasites, or zombies close to the cyst, which will also be absorbed into it. Once enough zombies have been absorbed, the cyst will change appearance and can be picked up. Once you have the cyst, head down to the quantum computing. There will be 3 etheric flora plants that you must stand under, which will have your character pull out the cyst to extract essence, and you must remain under the plant until all of its health has gone. But this does not have to be done in one go, as you can move in and out back into the range if you are getting consumed by zombies, for example. Once this is complete, standing under these plants will no longer pull out the cyst, and you will get a character quote. The next step is to head to the T2 Dark Entity Containment by the Forsaken. There will be some computers on the upper level with black screens. One will say, Initiate Power Surge. You must activate with that screen. Then quickly run around the upper level of the room and interact with the others, which will now also make a noise that you can hear when within proximity. If you fail, you can immediately attempt this again. This will power a platform in front of the Forsaken Containment Core. Once this is done, an Uber Klaus will spawn once per round. You must shoot the shoulder pads off of it and then bring him onto the top of the electrical pad. When he goes on top of it, you will get a white flash as the Forsaken will take over his body. You will see the red essence from him go into him. You then must defeat this Forsaken mini-boss, now a lot weaker than when we last saw him in Cold War after being drained for 5 years and probably not wanting to live anymore and literally going crazy in that time gap, as he has now become a more difficult Uber Klaus. So keep destroying the Uber Klaus, and just like with the regular Uber Klaus, when you defeat, I guess, the Uber Forsaken, it will then become the core version of the Forsaken, and you need to defeat him as well, which after doing so will allow you to combine the cyst with a portal in the air, rewarding you with the wonder weapon, the Gorgifex. It's very strange how they just killed off the Forsaken like this after he was absent for so long, and why even bring him back just to do this? He could have just ended his story perfectly at the end of Cold War, but regardless, now I'll be showing you how to do the 2 different Gorgifex weapon upgrades. These are not necessary to do the main quest if that's something you want to do, but it can help. As you cannot pack-a-punch the regular Gorgifex normally, you can only pack-a-punch it if you have one of the upgrades, and massively increase the damage output, and you can only do one or the other. Let's first go over with the Gorgifex-N variant. This is unlocked by siding with Panos, and personally this is the one that I think is slightly better, but there isn't a crazy difference between the 2. First of all, you need to go up to Blanchard's door in the T1 Executive Suite and speak to him, and starts by picking up a Strauss counter which can be found on one of the consoles in the T1 Quantum Computing Core. Using this Strauss counter, one room around the map will have a reading, and the rest will stay out of range, so you basically need to explore the map with the counter until you find the right location. Once you are in the room that has the correct reading, you'll want to try and get the reading number as high as possible, with its maximum being 10, by just moving around until you get closer and closer to where you need to be. Using the Strauss counter, locate a zombie window that gives the highest reading, then find and use a charged Gorgifex shot. Shoot an object outside the window which will give you the life drain essence. Once you have this, you'll want to find 3 different paths. The cable can be found on the outside balcony in T1 Quantum Computing Core, the PC fan can be found in the T2 Dark Entity Containment Chamber, and the HUD can be found in the Bioweapons Lab, unlocked by the 3-digit keypad. Once you have all of these parts, head to the top of Tower 1 and find Blanchard's door. You will be able to construct a device that you must protect zombies from, so be prepared for this.
I bet Mama's spinning in her grave right now.
Carver owes me a beer when this is over.
Then you will drain Blanchard's life essence as he will emerge from the door and literally melt to acid and instantly become the upgraded variant of your weapon. So sad what we've done to Blanchard, just killing this innocent guy for no reason. Hopefully this is non-canon, but there is the potential the multiverse might be back and this is just one of the choices. But like I said, not necessary for the main quest. And then you can pick up the green canister now storing Blanchard's life essence. Now make your way back to the bioweapons lab and you are now able to construct the upgraded Gorgifex-N variant that you can then pick up. This is the green one. The Gorgifex-N has acid rounds that fire corrosive acid projectiles that deal damage over time, kind of like the acid upgrade to the Die on D machine. These rounds create lingering area of effect pools or splash damage that erode zombie health, making it effective against tougher enemies like elites or mini-bosses, as you can sort of cycle around it and keep it trapped in that pool. The acid can damage zombies standing in affected areas, providing massive crowd control by forcing enemies to take continuous damage when they are moving through or remain in the acid pools. The charge shots are great, and of course you can pack-a-punch it as well, boosting its damage and ammo reserves, enhancing its effectiveness in prolonged engagement, much better for the boss and high-round use. I would say this variant is ideal for players aiming to tackle high-health targets or maintain area denial, as the acid's damage over time effect is particularly strong against single targets or stationary groups. Now we have the Gorgifex-C variant, which this time requires you going to Blanchard's door and speaking to him, and siding with him, which I guess is the right thing to do storyline-wise, but maybe not gameplay-wise. After this, head to the reception and find the red room with the teleporter to the sub-levels. On a console, there will be a red button you can press. This will spawn a maintenance Klaus, whom you must protect while he disables one of the elevators. When it is disabled, Panos, who was taking the elevator, will become an orb trapped inside it. You must head up to the T1 quantum computing core and parachute down the elevator while interacting with the 3 switches on the side as you fall. Once this is done, you will go back up to the top of the elevator, and Panos will now be an orb that charges zombies. I guess because we turned off the elevator as he was the orb, he was not able to go back to a regular human. You must keep killing these charged zombies until Panos appears in front of the console at the entrance of the room. Interacting with him will then drain his life essence, making him become the Gorgifex-C upgraded variant of your weapon, which this would definitely be the right canon choice, I guess, killing Panos instead of Blanchard. But who knows, they've really not explained what Panos' goal even was for this map, so I'm hoping he is safe for Black Ops 7, but don't hold out hope. The Gorgifex-C fires powerful lightning-based projectiles. These blasts deal high damage and have an area of effect component, making them effective against groups of zombies. The lightning attacks can chain between nearby enemies, stunning or slowing zombies in a small radius, which is ideal for controlling hordes in tight spaces. Obviously, you are able to pack-a-punch it as well, increasing its damage output and ammo capacity, making it better for the boss fight or high-round survival. I would say this variant is best suited for players focusing on clearing large groups or dealing with special zombies, as the lightning effect excels at disrupting enemy movement and dealing consistent damage across multiple targets. Hopefully this video has helped you. If you want to do the main quest, there will be a guide linked below as well. Thank you for watching.